narrow cut through the noise, hopefully clear anyway. Microphonium that is homebrew. And SB200 to give you a little bit of juice behind it. Homebrew, link-coupled antenna tuner, and open wire line and inverted beat. So there you go, same stuff as always. But been kind of, just got home from, I work in San Diego and live in Chino, so I had to do my 2-hour and 15-minute ride home. And there you go. That's kind of the current situation for the moment. So I'll send it back to Brian, I guess, and he'll keep things going. Hopefully everybody's hearing me okay. NI6Q with the group early roundtable. This is KK6IRZ.
Yeah, okay, very good. KK6IRZ and the group NI6Q returning here. Okay, excellent, and good to hear everyone. So far, so good. So before we go down further the list for the early check-ins, do we have anybody who'd like to chime in and to be on the list? NI6Q here, over.
K10-4DLA, November 4, Delta, Lima,
Yep, I got K2RP. Anyone else?
Okay.
No, I can't hear anyone. Any relay?
I think there was another station in there, but I didn't catch the call.
Could you ask? Because I have no copy.
Yeah, the station that was just trying to check in. Go ahead and give it another try, and I'll try to pick up your call. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. This is Matthew, November 4, Delta, Lima, Alpha, N4DLA.
N4 DLA, was it? Or CLA? Oh, it's Francesca, I think. Okay. Yeah, I think it was Francesca trying to check it.
Negative. This is Matthew in Bay Area. Over.
I think it was N4 LTG or something like that. Yeah, go ahead and say your call one more time just to make sure I'm not goofing it up here. But you're kind of right on the edge of my noise too. But try it one more time.
November 4, Delta, Lima, Alpha. This is Matthew in the Bay Area. Over.
Lima, Alpha. N4 Delta, Lima, Alpha. That's what it is.
Okay, perfect. So N4 Delta, Lima, Alpha, just at my noise level as well. So welcome to the group. Anyone else? Okay, no one else. So let's go further down the list here and wait for the famous hour. So this is NI6Q. I'm taking the early check-ins for the Vintage Sideman Roundtable, and it's going to go to WB6RLC. WB6RLC, pass it over to N6AF. And 6AF in turn will pass it to K2 Radio Pacific, K2RP. Why don't you pass it to November 4, Delta, Lima, Alpha. And then it will need to come back to me. This is NI6Q. And the earlies for the Vintage Sideman Roundtable. Go ahead, RLC.
Get everything worked out.
Very good, Brian. Thank you very much. Name is Glenn, Golf Lima Echo, November. Cathedral City, next for over from Palm Springs. Rick tonight, a Swan 500. No suspect, single-year manufacturer only. Mike 244. Nice weather today out here in the desert. It got to be up in the upper 60s, low 70s, but clear and sunny and a gorgeous day here tonight. Excuse me, everyone's coming in real well. Brian, you're a good solid S9. Everybody else is right about there too. So anyway, going on down the line here, M6 audio frequency. WB6RLC in the group.
Oh, great. Thanks. November 6 Alpha Fox in Redwood City. And Brian, thanks for chiseling the granite tablet with the earlies this evening. And I just wanted to comment on your beautiful military radios on your QRZ page. Very, very cool stuff, and I'm sure it all works. So Chuck here in Emerald Hills up above Redwood City. I'm running my 1963 KWM2, and I've got it deloaded and through a 60B of padding, lightly driving a what I call my semi-homebrew solid-state amp, about 400 ppb out, showing off center-fed dipole. On to K2RP, you're up, sir, and 6AF. Maybe a relay.
Yeah, K2LP. K2LP, you hear me?
Yeah,
go ahead and take one.
I wasn't copying the other station. Are you copying me, okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
K2LP.
Okay, sorry, I didn't copy AF at all. Didn't hear a thing. Everybody else is pretty good, but the N4 is not too strong either. Anyway, my name is Ron
Radio.
We're using the BMW 6100 and the 75A4 receiver. Driving the Canon 922 Alpha, and the microphone is showing 444, and the antenna's a G5RV. I don't think I saw the topic of the letter. I'm looking forward to hearing it. And John, when it comes around to you again, let me know if you want me to do that next Tuesday when you're gone. Let's see, let's try N4 DLA, I think it is, K2RP.
Thank you, K2RP, and the prenet. This is Matthew, N4DLA in Orinda. Thanks for the relays, everybody. Nice sunny day here today. No electricity staying on, no other mayhem going on. So looking forward to the question of the evening. Very good signals tonight, Brian. You're about at S5 here into the Bay Area. So thank you for taking the earlies. I'll turn it back to you at I6Q from N4DLA.
I think he turned it back to you, Brian. I don't hear him talking anymore.
All right, thank you. Yeah, he's in and out, and there's a little bit of QRM and QRN November because of the weather here. So anyway, all right. So this is an I6Q taking the early for the Vintage Sideband Roundtable, and anybody else would like to chime in? Come now, an I6Q listening.
Yeah, K6ZSR, Brian, and also I'm going to have K6RCL DJ here with me, so put us both on there. Thank you, over.
Roger, good to hear you, Mike, and DJ there. Anyone else? No, I don't think so. So why don't you make one K6ZSR, Mike, and pass it over to K6RCL, and then we'll come a little bit closer to the hour there. So this is an I6Q flex stuff.
Oh, okay, Brian, very good. Who do I turn it over to?
Turn it back to me. We're at the end of the early list.
Okay, very good. I'll turn it back to you, and so very good, and good evening to everybody. Mike, Santa Barbara here, just running the high gain 3750, and conditions are sounding superb. Everybody's barreling in here, including Ron RP there. Ron, you're just booming in here today. I don't know what it sounds like you're running over a kilowatt. I'm only running QRP. I'm at 3.5 watts tonight. Just kidding, of course. Over to you, K6ZSR, and I'm waiting for K6RCL to come in here shortly. There, over.
Yeah, okay. Very good. Stand by for a second. Yeah, just Sam's rig here. And Yeah, there's a little more power here, definitely. Okay, very good, Mike. Good to hear you, and excellent copy. So audio is very good. What radio are you on, Mike? Over.
I'm on the high gain 3750 with the Shure 444 mic.
Wow, sounds really good. Very good. I changed rigs here. I'm on the military RF 280, which is a Harris radio, and that's feeding the 30S1. So I think people are going to hear me a little bit better. Before I was with the JRC, and the linear puts out about 600 watts, 600-700 watts. This is about the double, so there we go. All right, do we have anybody else who'd like to chime in on the list before we see if the host is around? This is NI6Q Flagstaff.
Chuck, I sent you a screenshot. You'll notice there's nothing on the bottom. It will populate on the bottom once you
All right, so NI6Q back here. Anyone else would like to chime in? NI6Q taking check-ins for the early list. Vintage 5-mil roundtable, come now.
Whiskey Italy 6 radio.
All right. Whiskey Italy 6 radio, good to hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just turned the rig on, and I didn't even have you tuned in, so I just guessed that I was close to being on frequency. But anyway, good evening. Running the S line here in Kingman with our vertical antenna.
Well, you're 959 at least, plus 10 or something like that. And I'm on a military radio here tonight, so kind of changing radios from one to the other there. And you're on the list. Anyone else? All right, K6LGL. K6 Little Green Light. Good to hear you, Skipper. You're on the list. Anyone else before I see if the host is around? NI6Q. No one else. So I think we're coming to the hour there. Is the host around? NI6Q. It's a good question. I didn't see any email or anything like that, so I don't know. Does anyone know?
AK6R.
Is AK6R the host?
I didn't get an email either, but normally if I take early the week before, I'm normally the host the week after. So other than that, I know nothing.
All right, so this is an I6Q here. I got AK6R on the list. AK6R. But I still didn't hear the host there. Maybe he's not on, or I can't hear him. So let's stand by for a sec.
Well, shouldn't it be Max, W7MS?
Host is supposed to be AK6R. It's you, Bob.
Oh, me, oh, my, oh, me.
Okay, is the host AK6R then?
That's what John sent out yesterday.
Brian, you got a list for me?
Okay, so AK6R, thank you, Mark. AK6R, can you hear this station here? This is an I6Q.
Oh, yeah, you sound just real good and strong. How's my signal?
Well, boy, that's you. You don't have to get back on the boom microphone.
All right, so very good. Are you ready for the list?
Yes, I am ready for the list.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not him.
Okay, AK6R is on. So everybody hats off. And here's the list as I have it.
Yep, I see news.
on the list is KB7LOQ. KB7LOQ would be followed by W6DQ. W6DQ would be followed by QNG, Lisa. KF6QNG, I think. Then NU66, my friend Mark is going to be after that. I think that before Mark, I think W6TOM is at Dennis's residence, so we will probably have a word there as well, I guess. So the trio, EQ, TOM, QNG. Then it would go to NU66. Then it would go to K6KOI. K6KOI will pass it over to W7MS. Mike, are you okay with the copy there?
Yeah, Roger, I'm good so far.
Okay, good. So it would go to N6WHK, November 6, Whiskey Hotel, Kilo. Then it will in turn go to KK6IRZ. KK6IRZ. Then it goes to Glen, WB6RLC, Radio Lima Charlie. And then N6AS, November 6 Alpha Fox. Then will come K2RP, K2 Radio Pacific. He's still copying okay.
Yeah, Roger, I got everything so far.
Alright, very good. So K2RP would come N4, like November 4 Delta Lima Alpha. And for DLA would be followed by K6ZSR. K6ZSR will be with K6RCL, who should be visiting from what I understand. K6RCL will probably have a word. Then it would go to WI6R, Whiskey India 6 Radio, Dave. And then K6LGL would be the last on the list as I have it. And if you don't mind, give it to me maybe after LOQ, fairly early. That would be much appreciated. So let me know if you're missing anything. This is an I6 count.
Okay, Brian, I think I got them all. Do you have a name for KK6IRZ?
No, I do not, as a matter of fact.
Okay, I guess we'll find out. No problem. And I just don't recognize the call. And let's see what else. I think we got it set here. So we've got 6:59 p.m. here in California. And so I think we're just about ready to start the net. And conditions seem pretty good tonight. My call is AK6R. We're going to use a short preamble tonight since I'm losing my voice and actually just gaining it back after a short cold here. Went over to Lake Havasu, had a great time, came back and got a cold. So what do you think about that? Don't know what to think about it, but I guess I can do it again. Welcome everybody to the Vintage Single Sideband Roundtable. This is Bob, AK6R. I'm located in Fallbrook, California, which is about 16 miles inland from the Oceanside Harbor, right here below Camp Pendleton, which is about a mile away. I'm the host for this evening's roundtable tonight. I am using a variety of different equipment, solid state and also vintage. The star is a Cantronic KT180 single band transceiver. About the size of a 2-meter transceiver. We meet it every Tuesday evening at around 3895, and I should be right on 3895 right now. All of you should be using equipment that was manufactured on or before 1981 or home-built equipment with equivalent technology. The first-timers may, however, use any modern equipment, and you can ask us where to get vintage equipment, and we'll be glad to provide a pathway for you. We have a question of the evening tonight, and I know nobody knows what it is, but I do. And first of all, are there any announcements that anybody wants to make before we get into the roundtable? Over.
The band must have changed then.
Bob, AK6R, can you hear me?
Yeah, Roger, go ahead. You're just fine.
This is the new 6X. I just want to start getting people to think about RSVPing to Rocco for April 22nd, the spring barbecue.
Okay, Roger. Rocco made the announcement at the week of the barbecue. If you're thinking of going, please RSVP to Rocco. He always puts on a great party, and always a nice place to visit. He's got a wonderful station to take a look at. So, are there any other announcements that anybody would like to make? Okay, hearing none, let's get the roundtable started. The question of the evening is a simple one. When, where, and what is the oldest piece of radio equipment that you have ever operated? When did you do it? What was it? And what were the circumstances? And where were you? Sometimes you're on a ship in Antarctica and you're running a 1920 radio. Who knows? But I'm sure everybody's got an idea of what was the oldest radio they may have used in the past, and it'd be interesting to hear what your story is and how you came into that situation. And it may be that was your first radio back in the 50s or 60s, if you go back that far, but it could be something that you operated at a museum, or maybe you saw somewhere else. I think the Queen Mary's got some quite old radios too, and you have an opportunity to be a guest operator there or something like that. Think about it, and let's see what the oldest radio was, and where did you operate it? When did you operate it? And what was it? Before we get started with that, the first four, are there anybody else that wants to get on the list? Please come now.
We're trying to get Mark. I think you got to understand, I'm in this snowmobile. I'm going up down these hills there.
Any relays? I didn't hear anything.
All I said was that's about 1499.
Okay, all I hear is back. So let's start off with 7 LOC to start.
That's about right there,
Turn it over to Brian, and thank you for taking the early. NI62.
How about that?
And then turn it over to the trio here, W6GQ, and then Dennis over to Lisa, AF6QNG, and then over to Tom, there, W6QN, and then back to me. 87 LOC to take it.
Where was that now?
AK6R, this is KB7LOQ. Art in St. George, where it snowed for a little bit this afternoon, but immediately melted. Quite the year. Thank you, Bob, for hosting, and thank you, Brian, for taking the earlies. You had a great signal in here, really nice, loud and clear, beautiful audio. Hi to Jeff there, IRZ, my weekend AM buddy. Tonight I'm on the Kenwood 520 into a B&W 2500 linear amp, and using a Shure 444D. In terms of early radios, I grew up with a dad who collected and restored antique radios, so I'm not sure what I first used, but when I was a kid, I had a beautiful GE shortwave console next to my bed with the Hallicrafters S38 on top. The first transmitter I operated was a Johnson Ranger as a novice, and I remember I was looking for one, and my dad had a swap meet in Arizona, found one, came running to me. Here's a Ranger for $65. You better go buy it now. So that's what got me started with transmitters. Okie doke. Over there to you, Brian. NI6Q KB7LOQ.
Yes, okay, well, thank you all. KB7LOQ, beautiful signal into Flagstaff, Arizona tonight. This is an I6Q here, and, well, weather-wise, I tell you, it's a never-ending winter, it seems. It seems to be clearing up a little bit now, but we had another to go with the snow overnight there, and temperature is freezing right now. So anyway, there's hardly any snow left on the ground, just little patches here and there, some icebergs, but nothing to write home about. But man, you know, the weather was really brutal this winter. Anyway, the water is overflowing everywhere from the lakes, and the streams are just rolling in, and it's quite, you know, spectacular. We've got falls, waterfalls everywhere, so we're not going to be out of water now, that's for sure. Using tonight a military radio. This is a Harris radio from the late 70s, probably close to 78, 79. And it's an RS-280, known also as an URC-94 synthesized radio, very pretty and quite interesting, and I think that I got most of the capacitors exploded in my face yet, you know, those tantalum caps just did that. And it seems to be in a calm period right now. These things are like volcanoes, you know, they have calm periods and then they become active. And this is for the 30th one. Antenna is a doublet. So there we go. So the older radio, actually I'm currently using I think my older radio is a 1939 Marconi station, but some of you have heard already on AM and some of you on CW as well. That's the famous Marconi 1155, 1154 combination that go on the Lancaster bombers and things like that. And that's 1939, and I have a lot of pleasure using it. The receiver has a magic eye that looks at me, and the transmitter is just a VFO plus PA, you know. So, but it's much better than a BC 375, in my view. So anyway, that's the story here. And I'm going to pass it over to the trio there, W6DQ. I thank you, Bob, for hosting tonight. And it's a pleasure to be amongst you. So, W6DQ and the multitude at his home. This is an I6Q. Flagstaff.
Oh, excellent, Brian. Thank you. NI6Q and the Vintage Single Sideband Roundtable, W6DQ, Dennis out here in Inyokern. We're probably about, 50 degrees right now. It's clear. It was a beautiful day today. No wind for a change. It has been really windy the last few days. In fact, we had 50-mile-an-hour winds yesterday that took down the loop. So my horizontal loop is on the ground and ready to go back up in the air again. The wind took it down. So we're operating on a high tower right now because the inverted V doesn't seem to be liking me very much tonight. So we tried the high tower and it's working okay. So everybody's sounding great. Mark, you were like 20 over, and Brian, you're like 20 over, just super loud. And Art, you were peaking like 30 to 40 over here. So nice signals. We're on the KWM 380 with the SM 280 microphone going through the Alpha 87, through a Nye Viking MB5A tuner out to the high tower. That's what we're operating tonight. So hopefully everybody's hearing us okay. Well, I'm trying to think of the oldest radio that I've got that I've operated. I've operated some old radios, including a homebrew spark rig using an an actual transmitting spark coil. But that was, whatever. And I even used a coherer to receive the signal. And I could get a signal across the room with that as a demonstration. But probably the oldest thing I've got that's actually operating is a National TRW, which was a transceiver. It's a VHF, well, of course, those days they called it UHF transceiver that National Radio made in 1933 and 1934. It came from a QST article that was published the year before. And it's called a TRW because it's a transmitter receiver in a wooden toolbox. So it got the name TRW. I've got two of them, and they have been totally restored. They look brand new, and they are wonderful little radios. So they're a little two-tube, has a two-tube set. You use one's a speech amplifier or an audio output amplifier, and then it has a regenerative detector, or it uses that detector as the oscillator, and you modulate that with the audio stage. So I can't even remember what the complement of tubes are, but those were manufactured around 1933. And they made two models. There was a TRW and a TRM. Mine happened to be, actually have three of them, but two of them have been totally restored TRWs. They're very cool. Basically operating on 6 meters AM with a telephone handset. It's a cool little radio. They are very portable. So that's the oldest thing that I've got that I've actually operated and actually is operating. And that's kind of a fun little set. I've got a lot of radios that are older, but no transmitters that are actually operating, other than I mentioned the spark rig. I guess I do have some homebrew stuff from the early 30s, but I haven't had any of that stuff operating. I also got a Collins 4A in there too, Exciter, which is pretty old. Anyway, I'm going to send it over. I guess I'm supposed to send it over to Lisa first, KF6QNG, and the Vintage Sideband Roundtable, W6DQ. It's your turn.
Okay, well, thank you, Dennis, and we can apologize. How about that? Good evening, one and all. Great to be here, and thank you for hosting this evening. Bob, right? Bob. Okay, anyway, it's kind of crazy. But I have no idea what the oldest radio I've operated. Don't know. Dennis brought up this point, and I can attest to this. The Queen Mary really, the ship is old, and the radio room next to it has old radios, but anything operating is modern. I mean, it's got the old radios, on the shelf, but much more. That was on the ship when it came in. But anyway, so hate to burst the bubble there, Bob, but that's it for me. I'll go ahead and turn it over to Tom. So W6TOM from KF6QNG.
KF6QNG, W6TOM here. Well, let's see. I think the oldest set that I have is one of my ART-13s, which is a World War II military transmitter. And just to make it really old, I run it off the original 12-volt dynamotor. So, anyway, back to net, W6TOM.
Called a real fan train, right?
W6TOM in the group, AK6R. I knew that they had new radios in the London arena there, but they sure look like they'd be cool to operate. Maybe that's what I meant. Anyway, some great answers, and everybody's about 10 over down here. No problem copying anybody. The noise level's low tonight. I'm on some of our off-center fed dipoles, so and I switched over to the loop, and the signals are about the same. So you're doing real well, Dennis, on the high power. And a nice signal. And a great little story about the spark gap in the coherer. That's wonderful. But I think the 6-meter TRW, the transmitter receiver in wood, That's a great story. Art, yours was good too about a ranger. I started off with a bike before, got full thing before I ever transmitted. And haven't really been earlier than that. That was probably, 1955 or so. Brian, your 1939 station sounds wonderful. I think I've seen pictures of you with that station, and it looks like you're right out of that era when you're transmitting, and you got your costume on too. So I think that's really cool. Very nice. Let's see here. Actually, we should have gone over to NU6X. No, NU6X is going to start it off. And then it's going to go over to John, K6KOI. Then over to Mike, W7NF. And then Phil, WHK. And before I turn it over to you, Mark, just wanted to know if anybody's going to Dayton this year. I'm going to be a keynote speaker for Flex Radio on Friday night. And if you're going to be there, I'm coming in on probably Thursday night. And maybe we can rendezvous someplace in Dayton. If you're going, let me know and correspond and see if we can meet up. Over to you, Mark. NU6X to take it from AK6X.
Okay, Bob, this is Mark NU6X in Sedona, Arizona, and for some reason you're very, very weak, Bob, and not your normal strong signal, so maybe you're not running an amplifier. I think you were talking about Dayton, and I'm still undecided on Dayton, whether I'm going to go or not. I'm thinking of passing this year, but I can't. I didn't hear everything you said about it. I think you were speaking a Flex Radio thing or something like that. I think is what you said, but I didn't catch it all. To the question. By the way, this is Mark NU6X in beautiful Sedona, Arizona. I have older radios, and probably my oldest that I had that I actually used was what is it? The S38, the helicopter's little cheapo receiver that would go back when I listened to it was back in the back in the later 50s, probably mid 50s, something later 50s. But let's see, I'm going to stick with the radios that I've actually operated and transmitted with. And there was some debate over it last week, but it's either the Central Electronics 10A, 10 Alpha, or the Linco SS75. Both of them were right around the latter half of 1951, and I have operated both of those. I put them on this round table about 4 or 5 years ago. And it was at my former QTH, which is about 1,000 feet from where I am now. And so I have older radios like R13s and some different miscellaneous AM stuff. But I've never really had those on the air, so I'm going to stick with the with either the Central Electronics 10A as an Alpha or the Linco SS75. And the Linco SS75, very interesting transmitter. With that, Bob, I just didn't hear you well enough, so I'm not sure where I'm supposed to send it, so I'm going to send it back to you. This is NU6X.
Yeah, it goes over to K6KOI.
Okay.
This is K6KOI, and tonight I am on a drink line, and using an amplifier, a single BLF188XR homebrew, and a 25-meter full-wide loop. So anyway, to answer the question, I think the oldest one is probably the Viking 2 that I've had, although I also have a Central Electronics 20A. I'm going to assume it's the Viking 2, but that's probably a little bit older than the 20A. And the way I got it is in 1971, I had basically graduated law school, was living in our first house here in San Diego, and had not been active in ham radio ever since basically my junior year of college, maybe even my sophomore year. So there had been a hiatus there. And I saw an ad in the paper because at that time there were things called newspapers, not many around anymore, and there was an ad in the San Diego Union. It was for a Viking 2 for $25. So I said, doggone, I'm going to get back on the air. So I went to the guy's house in Point Loma, and the Icon 2 came with the VFO, which was not advertised, for the $25. I loaded it in my car, and as I was about to pull away, the guy asked me, do you have a receiver? I said, no. He said, well, come on down. So I went back into his house, and I ended up with an S40B Telecrafters for another $25. So I was absolutely livid that I couldn't believe, livid's the wrong word, I was happy. I was happy that I couldn't believe for $50 I was going to get back into ham radio. And I said, you know, for $50 I'm getting back into my hobby. And he looked at me and he said, that will be $3,000. I said, what are you talking about? He said, you'll find out. It was. Over to the next person, W7MS, K6KOI.
Well, thanks, John. K6KOI, W7MS, Mike in Reno. This evening, running the Collins KWS1 transmitter 75A4 receiver, some of the attached accoutrements, and a amplified D104. And for the official weather report, currently 32 degrees, and had a high of 44 degrees today. So that's pretty exciting stuff, isn't it? Still waiting for the heat wave, Brian. We're feeling your pain for all the folks that are in four-season climates. But to the question, and I had to think a little bit here, but we're going to go with a match combination. And like Brian and Tom, I'm also a military radio operator collector, so I'm going to go with the Bendix TA12 transmitter. That's an AM plate modulated transmitter, runs about 40 watts out carrier, and the Bendix RA1 receiver. And those date from pre-World War II, probably around 1940-41 vintage, and then later were used quite extensively with the Royal Canadian Air Force and other Dominion members of the Commonwealth. And so Bendix was very shrewd marketing to create a commercial aviation avionics product that dovetailed right into World War II. So go figure. But that's the setup here. So 7-3's from Reno, and we'll be listening. Let's see what else is going on here. So N6 WHK W7MS.
WA6 Lima Juliet Romeo.
Hello.
My home is Greg. You say it's not Mike and Greg Russo. And I would say Peppermint 8 110 I use about 2 or 3 cans a week. AMI, and also I try to get on they take a feature there. Those are my old designs. I do have a used kit. That's what's on I'm running right now.
Mom sent me an email from her.
Here, and
Well, I'm
the oldest equipment I have. These big cars, 6 WHK. WA6 Lima Juliet Romeo.
Lima Juliet Romeo, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to get in the lineup with the Alpha 6 and Lima Juliet.
Okay, Roger, we got you. I missed your prefix. Go ahead again.
Alpha 6 Lima Juliet Romeo.
Okay, I got it. Very good. Thanks much. It's a little bit of QRN here, but other than that, everybody was about S9 that time. Signals stretching out a little bit, but hopefully you're hearing me. We're running pretty close to full legal limit here. So, great comment, and John, you mentioned 1971 getting your radios for $25 a piece. I think that's a great story, but it reminds me, in 1971, I think I bought my first house up in the Bay Area for $49,000, and I looked about 3 months ago, and it was worth $2.5 million. And it brought back the reminder that in the 71, that's when we got off the gold standard, and gas was about 20 cents a gallon. So I think you got a real bargain there.
Probably should have kept the radio, and it'll be worth more now than it was then. But just reminded me of the era when everything was great prices and you could get lots of stuff. So thanks for the reminder. That was good, and a very nice story too.
Thank you.
And the guy was right. Give you a cheap radio to begin with, and it always more expensive as we get better ones. So thank you for that. And Mark, you're about an S9 here too. No problem copying you, and hopefully you're still copying me. And great on the Central Electronics. 1961. Good year, and great radio. And Mike, very good comments on the Bendix. I wasn't aware of those two radios, and that's a good little bit of history for everybody here. Let me take a break, and thanks, Phil, for your comments too. Let me take a break, and is there anybody else who wants to get on the list? Please give me a call now.
W6YET.
I'm sorry, I keyed you before you were done. Go ahead again.
Yeah, I grabbed the wrong microphone. My fault. W6YET checking in.
Okay, George, we got you. Down about 6 to 10 here. So, all right, our next 4 would be Jeff, KK6IRZ, and then turn it over to Glenn, WB6RLC, and then over to Chuck, N6Alpha Fox, and then over to Rod, G2RP. He's got lots of old radios down there. Back to me, Rod. Go ahead and take it, Jeff. KK6IRZ, KK6R.
Oh, sorry. Good. Still got it here. Hold on. Yep, all right.
Yeah,
sorry
still
about
yours.
that. I had the controls out of position. This is KK6IRZ, Jeff in Chino, California, running an ICOM 735 with a homebrew microphone and FD200, homebrew link-coupled tuner and open wire line and inverted V. And I actually have a bunch of old stuff here and stuff that I have run. I'm going to keep it, I guess, to ham radio because if we start talking about just transmitters that I've fired up and run, I've fired up and ran a lot of old broadcast stuff from 30s and 40s and things like that, RCAs and all that junk. But as far as ham radio goes, I actually have a radio that I got out in San Diego, which is a link-coupled homebrew transmitter, which I would say is somewhere in the 1940s era. And I've run it into the dummy mode, so I haven't got it on yet. So at some point in time, you guys will actually hear that one. And but I want to say that in the mid-90s in upstate New York, I was at I think it was I was at W2KM or W2KM, although I think he's a silent P now. But he had a whole big collection of stuff, and he had an old smart gas transmitter, and I operated it for like 5 minutes, but I would say that is probably the oldest. I want to say he said it was 1920s era. So I would say that would be the oldest one. I was over there visiting. I built this big transmitter out of a Continental cabinet, which was that I sold to Bob up there. And when I was dropping it off and everything, we were playing around and all that. And I guess that was it. So that's the oldest one. Yeah, like the 1920s, 1930s, right in there. And but as far as ham radio goes, and then as far as around now, of course, I have the Viking 2s, and I have all that stuff that I've operated at some point in time, Rangers and all that stuff. So I guess that's kind of the situation for radio over here. And you're right, when you're first starting out, oh yeah, a couple radios, $100. I've been revamping my shack over here for the past year, and I'm already well over 10 grand. So I'm just getting back into it too. And my radio that I bought was just $100. It's like the WB6RLC, I think that's what it was, where it's going. And everybody's got great signals tonight. Yeah, over here in Chino, I mean, everybody quite well, even the outskirters and all that. It's fairly easy copy, and I actually have things attenuated up a good 20 dB, and everything is still very easy to hear from everywhere. So, I'll keep it going. WB6RLC with group. This is KK6IRZ.
All right, KK6IRZ, WB6RLC. Yeah, very good, Jeff. Yeah, you're good 20 over here out in the desert.
He drive right on the building.
Glenn, Golf Lima Echo, November, Glenn. Cathedral City. Let's see, the rig tonight's a Swan 500. No suspects on it. It's a single year of manufacture only. Microphone, sure, 444, like about everybody else's. And let's see, the antenna is the off-center fed dipole at about 32 feet. So I don't know. I guess strictly speaking, the oldest radio that I've actually operated, I have probably a very late teen crystal set. You know, it's the Catch Whisker and the Galenium Crystal and, et cetera, et cetera. And I bring an antenna on it and receive a local AM broadcast. But ham radio-wise, probably, I don't know the exact age of it. It's probably 40s, maybe immediate post-war. It was my novice transmitter, and it was lent to me by my dad's business partner, K6ABI. And so it ran 750 volts or something to an 829 Baker. I remember that, then it was inductively coupled up to my long wire antenna. So he lent me that for my novice transmitter. So, and it had to have been like immediately post-war. So got a few hours in on it. But other than that, now it's the usual stuff from the 60s and things like that. So anyway, let's see, I guess it's Chuck there, N6AF, WB6RLC in the group.
Okay, thanks for that. November 6 Alpha Fox from Redwood City. And I'd be redundant if I repeated everything I'm running, but I'll say that I am on a 1963 confirmed by IRD Wayne KWM2. So, but that's not the oldest radio. The oldest receiver that works. And in fact, it's the oldest, but it doesn't work either, but it happens to be working. The oldest receiver in the shack it's either a 1938 or a 1939 HQ120X, and it's a lot of fun to run that. And I picked that receiver up from an SK sale down in Los Altos, and the SK ham was a Greek engineer that was one of the primary designers of the first color television for CBS in Los Angeles. So that hits pretty close to the little green light there. So I don't remember the guy's name, but later he worked up in this area at, I think, at Hewlett Packard. So let's call it a 1938 120X. And the oldest transmitter I have in the shack, which is beats me by 1 year, is a 1954 Viking Ranger, and that beats also my HT37 from 1960 by a bit as well. So, but unfortunately, I have to report that one of the oldest pieces of equipment is the one holding the Shure 444 mic right now, but it keeps on ticking. All right, K2RP to take it, N6AF.
Okay, very good. Everybody's pretty strong except the AF. I could only get a little bit of what you were saying. But I have to laugh. The oldest rigs you ever used. I'll give you a few examples that I have here. I have an HQ-120X he just mentioned. I've got a SX-25 from 1938. I've got a Viking 1, which Bob is earlier than you saw, is 1949, and a Collins 75A2 from 1950. And not only have I used them all, I used them all last month, every one of them, during the Classic Exchange Contest. I had all of those rigs on the air. Of course, maybe some that were also from the 40s. But the oldest one I remember is some years ago, I came into a homebrew receiver, and the 1932 QST it was built from. And it looked like it was all the air. I built up a power supply. There's a regen, and I got it on the air, and I even made a contact with it. That was a 1932 rig. And I also have an RME 69 from 1934. It's on my shelf here. I did have it on the air once, many years ago. I haven't played with it recently. So I got some rear engines, but the difference between most of you guys is I still use them once in a while. 1930s rigs, 30s and 40s. I have an SX-43 that I had on the air. That was 1947, I think. So it's a great question, Bob. I appreciate that. And thanks for taking the net. And also NI6Q for taking the earlies, and really an interesting memories. By the way, somebody said they didn't know which was older, a 10A or a Viking 1. They're really contemporaries. The Viking 1 might have been, or Viking 2 rather. They came out both about 1951 or 52, so you couldn't go wrong with either one. But let's use some of these, especially on CW. They're really a lot of fun. The HLO 60 on the air. That was about 1950 also. Okay, I think it's going back to our host. AK6R, K2RP.
Yeah, K2RP in the group, AK6R. Very good, Ron. And nice signal. You're 20 over, but you're right next door to me, too. So everybody else, Chuck, you were about a 10 over, as so was Glenn. And KK6IRZ, you were 10 over also. So very good signals here from everybody. And some great stories, too. And Glenn, your Swan 500 is doing a good job. And interesting memories from my old transmitters, my novice transmitters, too, before you did. But yeah, that was a great story on the 829 tube. I think I remember having transmitters with 829s in the finals also. And Jeff, your homebrew transmitter is a wonderful story about the spark gap tube from the 1920s. That's kind of the oldest we've heard about so far. There was one other spark gap story in there, but I think the stories themselves and the way that you acquired some of this gear is just as important as the actual one. And of course, Ron, you have a whole museum over there, and I'm glad that you're getting it on the air and at all these vintage contests and stuff. So I appreciate you having that on there, and I'm sure the radios do too. But wonderful stories, and I'm amazed that you remember all the years and the model numbers together. That's quite a feat. Okay, let's go on to the next four, and then we'll finish up with the last three. Goes over to N4BLA, Matt. and then over to Mike, K6ZSR, and K6LCL, I think, is also there, so both of you guys can share the mic. And then over to Dave, WI6R, and then back to me, Dave. N4PLA, I'm AK6R.
K6LK.
AK6R at the Vintage Single Sideband Roundtable. This is Matthew, N4DLA. I'm in Orinda, California, about 15 miles east of San Francisco, and running an Atlas 210X, 100 watts, straight fed into a 75-meter dipole sloping down from about 6 feet. And oldest radio I used was a Zenith Transoceanic H500 receiver made about 1951 that I got in 1975 from a elementary school or junior high classmate, elementary and junior high classmate. He had gotten it from Eugenie Clark. Dr. Clark was a neighbor of both of us. She was worked for National Geographic and the University of Maryland. And she was an explorer. She explored. She wrote a book about sharks. So I figured that Zenith Transoceanic had a lot of worldwide adventures. I never took it anywhere outside the house, but that's pretty cool. Oldest transmitter was DX100. I was given to by an 11-meter operator down the street. Surprise, surprise, it still worked on 11 meters. But I never got it to work in the novice band. I never got it to transmit. I was doing everything wrong, had no manual. So a month later, I got my 10-tech Argonaut, which in 1977 was it's the oldest single sideband transceiver I've used. I should say in college, I used a Collins S line at the university station, but it wasn't mine. That was probably from the late 60s. So Collins S line for single sideband, the oldest operated. So, okay, over to Mike. And thank you for running with that, Bob. Also, Brian and I6Q, great sounding Harris. You're way up to S9 now. Things got later, so thanks for taking the earlies. Over to Mike, K6ZSR from N4DLA.
You feel I ain't got nothing, absolutely nothing with wind.
K6ZSR, you there, Mike?
Yeah, sorry about that. The band went out. I'm hearing you okay, but band went out. Hey, Bob, what's the question of the evening?
The question of the evening is what, when, and where was the oldest rig that you've ever operated? You don't have to have it now, but what's the oldest ham rig that you operated or played with? And the questions and the answers go all the way from Spark Gap all the way up to 1940s and military radios, etc., etc. So, simple question, and what's the oldest that you've done, Mike? Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, very good. I don't know what's going on. I've got a receive defense. So when my amplifier's on, so I don't know what's going on here, but looks like I got low reflected, and but everything seems to be working. Okay, well, very good. And Bob, this is Mike, K6ZSR in Santa Barbara. And let's see, I'm running the high gain 3750 this evening up to the usual palm tree inverted V. That's the deal. Sure, 444 Mike. And so that's that. Now, as far as the oldest radio I've ever operated, I can't even remember. Probably the one I got here, the Eldeco SSB 100A so far. I guess that's about the oldest one. Nothing exotic, I guess. But, okay, so that's the deal there. And you know what? I'm going to just, DJ came and visited me this evening, so I'm just going to pass the mic over to DJ, and then that'll be our two check-ins here.
Okay, K6RCL here, and good evening to everybody. Thank you for taking the net tonight. And I don't know who did the earlies because I got here late. But the oldest rigs that I've used is BC 610s, and the oldest receiver is a Hammerlin Pro. Comet Pro was the name of it, with plug-in coils for the oscillator and RF. And so that's what we use there. Anyway, that's it for that, and I want to keep it under a minute. Back to, I guess it's back to AQ6R, K6RCL.
Thank you very much. It goes over to Dave, WI6R. Dave, are you there?
Yeah, real fine. Thanks, Bob. HK6R, the group from WI6R. Dave here in Kingman, Arizona. Tonight we're running our Collins S line, kind of our default station here. 32S3 and 30L1 with the 75S3B receiver to a vertical antenna. And Bob, yeah, you're not your normal strength here tonight. You're about 6 to 10 dB above the noise, which is good because it's S9 here tonight for some reason. But a lot of the stations are 30 and 40 over 9. So that's the situation here. My oldest radio is 1928 Atwater Kent TRF Model 42. And I also have a matching RCA speaker of the same vintage. Now, my oldest ham station would be my novice station, which was Heathkit AT1 from 1951 and BC453 from the mid-1940s was the receiver. However, I thought just to put in perspective, the Atwater Kent receiver cost $86 in 1928. And that's approximately $1,500 today's dollars. The Heathkit AT1 is still about $350 in today's dollars. So interesting just how expensive radio was back in those early days. With that, I'm going to pass it on. I think it goes over to Skip, K6LGL, WI6R.
Okay, thank you, Dave. WI6R and the vintage sideband community, K6LGL, Skip in Santa Monica. I'm on a 902 and I got a little 570 dB amplifier. Not pushing any significant power, but a little bit. Good signals from everybody there. I'm standard for that. Little QSB. Earliest piece of equipment I was very much impressed with was while visiting a silent key. One of my mentors that passed away many years ago, and that was W6RSK, Radio Service Key. He had either a Hammond or a Helicrafters receiver that I was very impressed. Vintage somewhere between 35 to 37 vintage, but he had modified, and it impressed me that he could copy a station 10 feet away from KFI Los Angeles, which runs 50,000 watts, and he could separate those two. And that receiver, he made some kind of modification in LC filters, whatever it is. But that was very impressive. But that was at his place. And my own equipment, I run a much modified Globe King 400, which originally was designed, by Leo Meyerson, I think. And his output had UV70Bs. I modified to run 572Bs and power driven by an 807 and 7K5 oscillator. And that's all link-coupled stuff, plug-in coils. And that's late 1949 was a kit transmitter that before introduced the Dual King 500, which is a pi output. And the receiver that I used was a BC348P with a single-ended tubes, the 6K7 with the grid cap. Everybody's got the JN or Q, which used the later tubes with the, grid caps and the octal socket. I use that on most 80 and 40 meters mostly. So that's good run a converter into it, but that was the oldest, along with a whole series of BC 455, 54, 453, you know, had all those, a bunch of them. And of course, crystal detectors from the late 30s, also in here. There's something with the Galena crystal and the cat whisker. Okay, enough of that. So I'll kick it back to you, Bob. I'm not sure who gets it next after me. It's probably W6LJR, and that's Bill in Pismo Beach. Interesting story there from everybody. Back to you, AK6R, K6 Little Green Light.
K6LK.
Yeah, go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, just want to say hello to the group and big shout out there to K6ZSR and RCL. Anyway, the Swan Junkie is out of here, Bob. I'm on an FT 847 tonight with my full wave. Well, no, it's not a full wave. It's a mishmash antenna. Anyway, catch y'all later. AK6R, K6LK.
Yeah, Roger, you're up next in the next foursome, so I'll call on you, and if you're there, you're there. But nice signal down here tonight, Bill. Very good comments from everybody. And Mike, your high gain is doing just absolutely wonderful tonight, and good stories on, and also from DJ. The BC610 Hammerlin Comet Pro. Wow, that's a new one for me. And Matt, some of your stories of all the Vikings and everything else that you said out the radios that you've had is pretty good too. Your Atlas is sounding good tonight, by the way. And Dave, your Collins is sounding very good. No problem hearing that. And thanks for the story on the 1928 Atwater Kent. And I remember the old Heathkit AT1 and the BC 453. I think maybe I even tried one of those for maybe a week, and then I decided that was not the radios for me. So and Skip, yeah, the Globe King, and I remember Leo Myerson very well, and used to read his articles and his catalog a lot. And the BC 348. In fact, I think Jay NY6L has got a Globe King 500 also, and still has it operating. Okay, let's go over to the last four here, and that is WA6LJR. Bill, turn it over to George, W6 Yankee Echo Charlie, and then over to Bill, K6LK, if he's still around. And if not, it goes over to Steve, KF6SYD, back to me, and then we'll wrap it up. Go ahead and take it, Bill. WA6LJR from AK6R.
All right, this is WA6LJR, Pismo Beach. We're currently running the Drake line, the C line with the L4V, and the very rare FS4 synthesizer Drake made. And this is probably, well, I guess I had some World War II equipment, but operating equipment that is the oldest thing in the shack right now. Well, I know there is a Valiant sitting over here staring at me, jealous. So I'll keep it short. I'll turn it over to W6YEC, WA6LJR.
Yeah, okay, Bill, thank you. And Bob, thanks for running the net tonight. W6YEC, late getting in here, and we're doing some computer repair here, moving stuff over from an older computer to a brand new one. And that tied me up. Anyway, thanks for the question. We're running the TS520 Sugar tonight with the Collins S line and the resonant antenna up there about 40 feet. And everybody's big signals tonight. Wow. Big signals. Mike, you were 40 over. Everybody doing good. I was a little confused on the question. Got a lot of different answers coming in there. But what, when, where, the oldest radio you operated. Anyway, I'll just say this, that right now, the oldest radio I think I have in the shack is 1933, Philco, shortwave and broadcast, and I use it. I'm using it Sunday, listening to some beautiful music. Has original 1933 tubes in it. So I think that says something. And then, of course, we've had lots of radios, lots of old radios, but we'll narrow it down here. Right now, in operation for AM and all, I have out of the 40s an aircraft receiver and hooked to a Super 6 Johnson, and I use it on 75 on our net, and it does a terrific job. I love it. Anyway, 2 mods on it, but it really works well. On the transmit side, probably, I'm guessing my 1940s homebrew 813. Obviously, I didn't build it. I got it from an Elmer, a former boss, and a church member where we went to church. Anyway, it was homebrew 813 modulated by a pair of 810 link coupled plug-in with B&W plug-in coils and all that stuff. And in a 6-foot enclosed rack. And probably would be the oldest that I owned and I had, and that was all back in the 60s on that radio. So that's my contribution. Bill, back to you if you're still there. And then over to Steve, I guess. K6LK, W6YE.
Yeah, okay, George. W6YEC, K6LK. Yeah, everybody sounds good here tonight. I'm just shaking down this FT847. Got it on a trade, so wanted to see how it was doing. Seems to be okay. Yeah, basic radio. I want to try satellites. That's one of the reasons why I picked it up. But anyway, to the question of the evening, I think the oldest radio I've used is a World War II BC-342. And I think I had that around the same time as a BC-348. But that was in my earlier days when dinosaurs were young, and well, Dirt was young for sure, and I think dinosaurs were roaming around the earth. Anyway, good evening to all, and back there, over to Steve. I believe it's K6FYD, K6LK.
Sorry, Bill, thank you. Hello, everyone. KF6FYD. Steve in Long Beach on the Drake C4XB, which works now, but I worked on it, but I didn't fix it. So when I got done working on it, it seems to work correctly. So I'm always, I'm going to be nervous for a while that it's not going to be fixed anymore all of a sudden by itself again. It looks good on the waterfall. It's got it. So just wanted to say hi, because I never check into the round table. And I'm looking forward to going to the get-together, whenever that is. I don't remember what month you guys do it, but I sure am looking forward to being there. And the question happens to be something I can do this question. Most of the things you guys do, I did stuff I never did. But my oldest rig, my oldest boat anchor was the first one I ever got. In the 90s, I wanted to have, and I wasn't a ham or anything, I wanted to have a shortwave. I wanted to listen to shortwave. I found out about the TRW slot meet. We really didn't have the internet. And it was at TRW. And it's the RME-45. And I think it's manufactured in, the best I can find out was 1947 or something like that. I'm looking at it, it's across the room. And I listened to most of the great international broadcasts before a lot of them went off the air on that radio in the 90s, in the late 90s, and I had a ball. So, good to be with you guys, and Bob, thanks for listening to AK6R, back over to you, KF6FYD. WA6JUF?
Step up.
Now go ahead, JUS, take one.
Thank you. Just got in a few minutes ago, and in Claremont here on the SC100, and I'm happy to report that my Galaxy 300 run spec has Reporty done with it? Is it works now?
Yeah, I did that.
He gave me a nice price for all the work he did on it. I sold my grandfather's 1939 GE console radio. It's the oldest that I would routinely use. I haven't had it off for a while, but that radio was my constant companion when I after from 6th grade on, both the AM and shortwave.
Have a good night. Get some later.
So back to you from WA6JUS.
Yeah, WA6JUS, AK6R. I'm just making a note here. Very good. And thanks for checking in at the end there. And Steve, you're always welcome here, no matter what. So your Drake sounds wonderful, and a good story on the R&D45. I'm sure K2RP can tell you the exact year of that one. He's the expert on all these old radios. And Bill, thanks for checking in. Yeah, BC342. I think we've all been through those many years ago, and in fact, I think I did an estate about 2 years ago, and I came away with probably 40 radios that were all shortwave or broadcast, and every one of them was in a wooden cabinet, and I had to rent a trailer just to take, and 2 loads from a big 15-foot trailer to take those back, and I still have some of those wooden radios with the old tubes in them, pre-oxal tubes, and still listen to them. They actually still work. I've got a couple of them that physically look beautiful, and they're still in the house here. So I think we all have something for old radios, and it's just kind of a nostalgic thing, but it's also a thing of beauty to all of us. So anyway, I'm going to award a gold medal tonight, or a gold cup, and a silver cup. I found 2 people that I really thought their stories were good, and appreciate that they're using these radios on the air. So the gold cup tonight, if Ron is still around, K2RP, and all the radios that he still uses, and then a silver cup up to Brian, NI6Q, for his 1939 military station there. I thought those were great. If you guys want to make any other comments on it, go ahead now, and then I'll turn it over to Ron, turn it over to NI6Q, and then back to me, and we'll wind this up officially. Over to you, Ron. K2RP, AK6R.
Okay, thanks very much, Bob. I really think it's important that these old ones get used, and the older they are, the more important it is that they don't just sit on the shelf. It's a real joy to operate them. Thanks for the interesting, excuse me. Thanks for the interesting evening. Over to you, Brian, NI6Q, K2RP.
NI6Q, AK6R. You still around, Brian? I think Brian has left the station. It's probably got a little bit more snow up there. Anyway, thanks everybody for coming tonight and sharing your stories. They're always wonderful, and it's a pleasure to come here and meet everybody again. And to answer your question, Steve, SYD, the get-together is going to be at Rocco's on April 22nd. April 22nd. Over.
Wow, that's really cool. I'm looking forward to it. I'll see you then.
Okay, roger that. Just want